This is vegan style.
What's up, plant-loving friends? I just watched the hour-long interview between Michael Arnstein and McDonnell, and the focus of the video was just about clearing up some of the controversies within the fruitarian movement and the Woodstock Fruit Festival, specifically with Durianrider and Freelee being taken out of being pioneers of the Woodstock Fruit Festival, not banned from the festival, but even invited to come, but out of the pioneers. But they had their reasons, and I want to talk a little bit about those reasons. If I agree with them, just what I think. I feel obligated to make a commentary, and I also want to make a commentary because ultimately I love everyone, truly. I love Durianrider and Freelee with all my heart. I watch all their videos and I support them 100%. Even when they're eating vegan pizzas, if they're not animal-based pizzas, then great. I don't care. And I also love Michael Arnstein and Dan McDonnell and Doug Graham and everyone for promoting, a strict fruit-based diet. Durianrider and Freelee 1,000,000% promote a fruit-based diet. They have for 10 years. 100%. Always the best. Now listen, I'm coming to the Woodstock Fruit Festival this year, and I'm so excited. I'm so excited to meet the community face to face. We're all Facebook friends, but I love everyone. I don't want to pick fights with anybody. That will never be my goal as a vegan, as a yoga teacher and yoga practitioner. It's all about love. I thank everyone, and we're all doing great. And I will be at the Woodstock Fruit Festival, and I'm so excited for it. At the beginning of the video, connecting with Harley, with Durianrider, and saying, you know what, we came from similar places. We had this shield that we had to put up because we came from hardship. I think that's really cool.
I've always felt like I can identify with Harley on a very deep level.
Right.
Harley had a similar upbringing and experience that I did when I was a kid. He grew up, he had a hard childhood.
Yeah.
And I felt like he felt alone and not really understood. I felt like he was pretty angry. And I identify with that in a lot of ways. When I was a teenager, I was doing lots of drugs. I was a bad kid. Mm-hmm. So I went from being really destructive to trying to be really positive. And I see the same thing from what I know about Harley, kind of same thing happened to him.
You're showing your sensitivity, which you are, you care, and I really like that the first thing you did was bring you guys together and say that you feel each other's pain. I think that's awesome.
Like Harley, I still carry some of that distrust in people.
Right.
And that I had a tough time, and that at the end of the day, I got to rely on myself.
Yeah.
And you can't really trust people completely. You got to have your guard up. And he had this moment of clarity where he said, Harley, you just got to harden the fuck up. He took on a perspective that was safer, but it also keeps him away from being able to have relationships on a really, I think, in a healthy or meaningful way.
I totally agree. Keeping your guard up and only relying on yourself in a group community is no way to create an inclusive atmosphere and make the best change you possibly can. And I'm not saying that Durianrider still always has the shield up. Look what he's doing right now. He's in Thailand. He hosts a free festival where he just gives his time away. I think that's taking your shield up. Sure, he still talks about, harden the fuck up. And for some people, that's good advice. But ultimately, Michael, I think that's so true. Biggest sign of love is actually to become completely vulnerable.
Harley is like aggressive now. He's hardened the fuck up, and I don't want to go back to that because I used to be that way too.
Durianrider has a lot of videos where he seems hardcore, he seems badass, but he is not violent. He is not a crazy person. He still talks about love. He talks about inclusivity. He talks about being compassionate to animals. He is not a violent, crazy person. His persona, his sort of, I don't care what other people think of me, I'm going to say radical stuff and I'm going to put up some silly videos sometimes, that's all in order for him to get viewers so that he can support this message of going vegan. He wears his vegan t-shirt every day. I can understand he's trying to tap into what the mainstream wants. The mainstream wants some radical dude on YouTube. if you just sit here saying, the vegan diet is the healthiest diet of all time, and eating fruit is good for you, no one's gonna watch it. So he comes out with his accent and his bikes and saying crazy shit, and people are like, oh, this guy's funny, and maybe the stuff he's saying is true, and they watch his videos. So he's not actually a crazy, violent person. He's just trying to tap into the mainstream so that he can get the message across to his market of people.
Yeah, and he ate 4 pizzas, and I was like, I saw that video, and I was like,
what?
I'm like, I don't get it, man. And then I started sending him emails, and I'm like, what are you doing, man? I'm like, is this like okay, you know, I get it. You know, the more views, it makes sense. Like, we got to bring in more people. Like, yeah. I see your angle, but like 4 pizzas, like
I thought pizza was like part of the problem, and now it's part of the solution.
Yeah,
like,
you know,
he's not eating cheese pepperoni pizza. He's eating vegan pizza. It's like crushed up wheat flour with tomatoes and veggies on top. Like, pizza's not a part of the problem. Cheesy, meaty pizza is a part of the problem. Plant-based, fake, veggie pizza is not a problem. If anything, people are going to say, oh, maybe I should go vegetarian or vegan because I can still eat pizza. That's great. And you said it yourself, Michael. Like, you understand he's trying to get the views. He's trying to get the message out. So, like, let him do it. You understand what he's doing. You wouldn't do that. You're not going to be the eat 4 pizzas pizza guy. But, like, he's doing it, and he's done so much for the movement, so, like, you know, why burst his bubble?
You know, he didn't care what other people were going to think. He's like, I'm trying to get these people to be on a sustainable vegan diet. Mm-hmm. Like, I respect that.
Yeah.
Like, I get it. And I don't think what he was doing was wrong.
Right.
I think he's a pioneer in his own way. But when I started getting emails like crazy from people sending me these videos and these links, and I'm like, holy shit, are we going to have a backup plan at the Woodstock Fruit Festival for the people that don't want to eat fruit? Are we going to have potatoes and rice at night?
We're going to have the pizza line.
Yeah, I mean, like, you know, like, is that going to be, and I'm like, you know.
You're saying, fine, the pizza thing is okay because ultimately you're trying to support the message of we shouldn't be eating animals and we should be healthier for the planet. But really, so the problem is that people were emailing the Woodstock Fruit Festival and assuming that because Durianrider is saying cooked foods is a backup plan, that maybe there'll be cooked foods at the Woodstock Fruit Festival. So what I see from that is that's not Durianrider's fault. That he has hundreds of thousands of viewers. The fault is of the audience who assumed that because Durianrider eats cooked food, that there's going to be food at the Woodstock Fruit Festival. All you could have said was, no, I run the Woodstock Fruit Festival, Durianrider is a pioneer, and he comes to the Woodstock Fruit Festival, just as some people that are pioneers, like Dan McDonnell, sell supplements. We're not going to have a supplement line at the Woodstock Fruit Festival. The Woodstock Fruit Festival is its own thing. And just because Durianrider does alternative things out of the agenda of the festival, it doesn't mean that he needs to be taken out, because then you'd take out a lot more pioneers who are on the board right now.
I called Harley on the phone. I emailed him, and I'm like, let's talk every night about this, because we got a problem. So I told him, Harley, let's try to, like, you know, get some moderation in the videos that you're putting out. Please stop attacking people. He wouldn't do it.
Here's where I think, Michael, you do have some teeth in your argument. Like, if this is true, Harley, Durianrider, if Michael was calling you up, like, saying, hey, man, we're thinking about voting you out, you're being too aggressive, like, do you want to work with us, you want to make a common medium? You know, here's an example, if this is true, that sometimes keeping your guard so high and firm isn't in the best interest. Like, we know there's tons of videos on YouTube now of here's why I'm not going to the Woodstock Fruit Festival. Like, it's hurting the festival, which is ultimately something that you support conceptually. So creating this drama instead of just saying, you know what, I'm going to get vulnerable, I'm going to say, you guys are right, I'm wrong, I'll change my ways. Change and progress is how peace is made. Staying in your little bubble and being like, oh, if people don't give a fuck about me, I won't give a fuck about them. No. And it's all about letting that guard down, being the bigger human. So if this is true, if you weren't calling back the Woodstock Fruit Festival and the Arnsteins, I don't think that's very cool. Like, it's all about community. We got to work with each other. We can't work on our own. So that does, make me a little bit sad.
You're eating pizza. You're talking about, people just need to eat tons and tons of carbs, and that's the first priority. Stay vegan. The fruit, if you can get it, great. If you can't, don't feel like you're a loser. But right. And the fruit festival, all right, let's put all the focus on all these other people that don't live up to all these standards. Not all the pioneers eat 100% raw all the time. But as far as I know, all the pioneers want to eat raw all the time.
And promote that as ideal.
As ideal, right. Yes.
So what you just said is not all the people who are pioneers eat a 100% raw fruit-based diet, including Harley and others, but all the pioneers have to promote that fruit is the best. You know that Harley promotes that. He does not promote that pizza's the best. Even while he's eating pizza, while he's eating rice, he always says fruit is the best, and he always will. So I think this is a little contradictory, because before you said, yeah, I know Harley always says fruit's the best, and now you're saying he doesn't say fruit's the best by his actions, but he always says fruit's the best. He always says that in his videos.
Harley's got commercials on his website. He's making money off people that, might go out and that might see the McDonald's commercial and might be like, holy shit, that new sandwich looks awesome. And I know I was watching Harley because I'm trying to stop eating that stuff, but that sandwich looks awesome. I'm going out and getting it.
Okay, this is a really tricky one. So, yes, Harley puts advertisements on his videos because he needs to make a living. He lives extremely simply. He has very little money, and YouTube kicking him some cash for his videos is a great source of income. Now, when you monetize your videos and allow ads, you can't pick and choose which ones. So, sure, sometimes there's ads before Durianrider's videos of unhealthy food-related things that he can't really control. And here you're saying that people shouldn't allow those advertisements on their videos. That's a valid point. I think that's a cool statement to say. I just watched a fully raw Christina video, and the advertisement before was a dude chugging a bunch of alcohol. So you're not kicking her off of the pioneers list. Like, all right, again, that is not a good enough reason to call him out on that, because a lot of other people are doing it. It's a really hard thing to control.
I would like to go to the Raw Till 4 festival. I would.
Yeah.
But I can't go because everybody there thinks that, like, I'm some kind of, like, elitist, like, shithead. And it's like, I never, it's crazy. It's crazy,
That you're right. That does suck. Like, the fact that you're afraid to go to the Raw Till 4 festival because, like, there's the durian lovers and then there's the Michael Arnstein lovers. Yeah, that is really lame, and I wish that didn't exist. Then again, if you did go to the Raw Till 4 festival and show people, like, look, I'm making this step. I'm coming all the way to Thailand to show you that even though we've had our differences, it's still all about love, and, like, I'm not an elitist asshole. I think that would be really cool. It is a big step. I'm not saying you, like, should have done that and you're a bad person because you didn't do that. You're not. But, it is lame that you feel scared to go, and I understand.
So how do you feel when you see Harley and Freelee kind of showing off this different stuff that they're eating now?
It's very interesting to me to see the progression of Harley and Freelee. First Harley pouring sugar on his smoothies and then doing some like crazy videos eating 4 pizzas. They went from being, eating health first. They're cold stone back on food addiction.
All right, it's getting real now.
That's what it is. And that shit will spin you around, and they're manipulating their own thinking into some crazy thing that this is okay and this is good. It's cold stone food addiction, and Harley and Freelee are back on being addicted to cooked and processed foods.
I absolutely do not agree. I see how you can think that they're processed food MSG addicts and they can't go back to all fruit. But come on, if they were actually addicted to processed foods now, they'd be eating cooked and processed foods for breakfast too. They show you every day. They get so hyped up on all of the fruit. Freelee has Datorade every single morning. They're hardcore raw till 4. And I guarantee you, if they came to the Woodstock Fruit Festival, they would be doing 100% fruit. They're not addicted to these foods. They're just trying to show that it can be fun. You don't have to turn it into a raw food dogma. You're not a bad person if you eat mainly raw and some cooked foods. They're just trying to cater to a bigger audience. Freelee's had her mom over to visit. It's fun to go out. They're just being human beings.
I mean, how do you go after Christina? You don't like her style? She's speaking to a different demographic, Harley. It's like, her customers aren't going to be your customers, and that's okay, because there's different people in the world, and everybody can relate to everybody differently. And, let her have her market, and you have your market.
I totally agree. I think going out after someone who just has a different style, ultimately promoting the same message, but trying to cater to a different audience. I show my parents Freelee and Durianrider's videos, and they're like, oh, the crazy banana people, that have not fancy cameras. And then I show them Raw Christina's videos, and they're like, oh, interesting. So, yeah, it's true. When Durianrider goes out after, Raw Christina for having a professional film crew and living at home with her wealthy parents, she's catering to a different audience. But at the same time, Durianrider is also catering to a different audience. So getting mad at him for his raw vegan pizzas and for his processed sugar, he's tapping into another different market. So he shouldn't also be criticized for that, because everyone is just we're trying to hit as many bases as possible. There's tons of people in different areas in their lifestyles and all these different vegan activists. I'm trying to tap into the fitness, mindful, and bodybuilding crew by showing, my body transformation of so far 120 days gaining 30 pounds on the vegan diet, mostly of muscle. So we're all trying to hit into these different markets, and, we shouldn't be getting angry at each other for it. My final comments, Michael, I love you. Megan, I love you. Raw Christina, I love you. Dan McDonnell, love you. Freelee, Durianrider, Doug Graham, I love all of you. I will be the YouTube star with no beef, no pun intended, with anybody. I am all about peace, love, unity, destroying the ego, destroying duality, being compassionate to animals, being healthy, going vegan, and just having vitality and enjoying life. And ultimately, we are human beings. This stuff is going to come up. People are going to have their differences, and we're going to go through ups and downs. But a lot of people are like, all right, now, Durian and Freelee, they're out of the Woodstock Fruit Festival. I'm going to challenge all of us to make this just a little dip in the movement that is going to be going up from now on. I have a couple of challenges. Maybe that's a bad word. But for one, I do think it would be awesome if Durianrider and Freelee came to the Woodstock Fruit Festival. They know they're welcome. They're not pioneers, but they can be special guests. I think that would be a great way to turn the other cheek, show that you care about the community, and say, you know what, if these people don't want to put me on the highest pedestal, that's okay. They're entitled to that opinion, but I'm still going to come and I'm going to preach my message and I'm going to be a part of the community. So maybe it's too late, but Durianrider and Freelee, I think you should come to the Woodstock Fruit Festival to show your humility and to show that you care about the community, and that no matter what happens with the tensions, you guys are going to be there supporting your message and standing up for what you believe in. Michael, to be honest, I don't have any challenges for you. I think you're awesome, and I think it's great that you came out with this video. I think it takes a lot of guts to say some of the stuff you said. You're coming from your heart. You're clearly in a very spiritual place right now. You moved to Hawaii. I think you're doing a great job. I respect you so much, and I can't wait to meet you in August. All right, maybe I got one challenge. Now, Michael, I know you're having an interview right now. You were being asked to be interviewed, and you came out with these statements. I think it would be cool if you came out with your own video. It doesn't need to be fancy. Just put your computer on there on the photo booth and say, Durianrider, I love you. I love that person that you were, in 2008, where you're just this low-key, awesome, peaceful fruit guy with no, crazy videos. Now you got some crazy videos. You have a big fan base. But Michael, I think you should come out with a video saying, I know who you truly are, even though we've had some disagreements. The Woodstock Fruit Festival is kind of a big event now, and what happened, but you're so welcome to come. We all love you. You should stand up for what you believe in and come to the festival. I think that would be cool. Obviously not necessary. I'm not saying you're a bad person if you don't do it, but I think it would just help. And my last challenge to everyone, Durianrider and Freelee have already done it. They have commented on my videos. They've shared my links. I appreciate that so much. And, I'm just trying to get the message out there too. I'm 21 years old. I know there's some people that are as young as me in this movement, but I'm really trying to get my foot in there, educate people. I put up 1 or 2 videos every single day. I'm working hard. So just sharing my link, my website, plantriotic.com. My YouTube channel is Plantriotic, and my Facebook page is also Plantriotic. And, supporting my stuff, getting it out there. I put up articles, videos, my own videos, speeches. I run the vegan club Plant Strong at Colorado College, and I'm just trying to get myself in the movement and get my very passionate beliefs out there that we need to be compassionate to animals, compassionate to the environment, and do the best things for our bodies, which is to have a whole food, plant-based diet, and fruit is the bomb.
This is vegan style.